What is going on, everybody? I'm stuck in the Wild West with my buddy John. We just got done at GalaxyCon, and I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. So, and we're a
Hey, wait a minute.
little late. We're not on time, but it's fine. We're here. How you
We're
doing,
here.
John?
We're a couple minutes late. I'm doing well. I was going to make a Cool Mo D reference because you said we were stuck in the Wild Wild West.
That's right, man.
Wild Wild West.
We definitely were with this episode. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. You know, we should let the folks know that we spent all day yesterday at GalaxyCon Columbus here in the capital city of Ohio. It was an outstanding event and had a great panel. Three geeks brought it. It was a great time. I think everybody enjoyed themselves. Some cool things we got to check out and
Dude,
see.
we had a full panel room, like a full panel room. We've never had a full panel room, and it was just absolutely flattering. And Justin said in our text with some of our buddies from Monaco last night, he's like, and they stayed. And that's right, they stayed the entire time. And that's really a testament to, us and how awesome we are.
That's not braggadocious at all.
No. But no,
Yeah,
it is really, sincerely, it's flattering that people would
yeah.
come, take some time out of their day, especially with those lines and stuff. They could have been doing something else. And, they sat with us. I think, 40 people could fit in that room. And we had about 36 people in that room. So, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah, but you know what though? I mean, we've sold out. We've had sold out shows before. When we went to Monroe, we had the first year with the Power Rangers. Man, that place was jammed. It was elbow to elbow, and that was 50 people.
Yeah, but
You
we're
know what I
not the
mean?
draw for that. That's the power. They're coming to watch
Yeah.
the Power Rangers. They're
Good
coming to
point.
watch
Good point.
us. And yeah, that's, like I said, I'm very flattered and just honored that people would take the time out of their day to hang out with us.
Yeah, it was cool. Got to hang out with some of the local indie creators as well afterwards. We went to dinner. Justin and myself went. You had other plans, and that was fun. That was awesome to hang out with those guys and talk comics and pop culture with them, and have some great food. By the way, at Bear Burger in Columbus, I'm going to give them a cheap plug. They're a great place, great burgers there, and overall. Yesterday was a great event. I will say that I also would like to say that the people of Columbus are wonderful because I made a complete idiotic item, which was that my little bag that I keep my digital recorder in, like an idiot, I left it on one of the benches outside the panel room. And then like a half hour later, half hour later, I realized I didn't have it on me. And I ran back to the information desk and asked them if they had lost and found, and they said they do, and it was in there. So everything was in there, like the recorder, the SD cards, more importantly, my house keys, because that would have been hard to get home if I didn't have my keys. So yeah, I was freaking out. I ran from the floor all the way over there, like dodging people, like like I was a bad guy on Miami Vice, and Crockett and Tubbs are chasing me. But yeah, so people of Columbus is awesome. They didn't steal my stuff. So there you go.
Dude, when I was in Indiana, I left my tablet in the panel room afterwards. And at one, I'm lucky that I have Find My Phone on it. And secondly, somebody was honest and turned it into Lost and Found.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, like it would have sucked to have to buy a new recorder and that would have sucked. But it was the house keys. I was like, how am I going to get my house? So we have a couple of comments, I guess, says Justin. Daniel Snow. Hey, Daniel. I was busy yesterday. That's why I didn't get to really comment. That's a pretty cool pickup for those folks that are watching or listening right now. Daniel picked up the entire giant series collection of Gunsmoke, and that's pretty impressive, dude. So I want to know how long that's going to take you to get all the way through.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, he sent me that photo too. It's really, really cool. And
yeah.
Corey, buddy, let's talk, Corey. I want to get you on after the first of the year on this show.
Oh, and he loves hearing examples of honest people still out there. Hey, I'm glad that there's honest people out there too, because like I said, that was anxiety and producing it to the nth degree, man. I mean,
you know what? That's it's one of the reasons I still like going to cons, because a lot of the people that go to them, they all seem like pretty honest people. Like, I've never had a problem at a con. We've left our booth unattended many, many, many times, and with stuff on it that's worth money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we've done that. Yeah, many times. But so Jason, I guess this is the time of the show where we talk about what are you watching. So what are you watching, man?
Dude, I I had a moment, and it was really cool. So there's a Christmas movie. I watched it last year and I watched it this year. I finally reviewed it this year. It was on Freevee. It's called Xmas, and I posted my minute review that I always do. And then the director of that movie commented on it saying that he liked my review. So that was pretty cool. And then Justin and I, we get a lot of people sending us screeners, and when we interview somebody, we just, if we don't like the movie and we've watched it, we just don't bring up our opinion. As much as we can hide it, we hide it. But I legitimately like this guy's movie. It's called the Comic Shop. It's coming out next year, and it's really, really good. It's got Jesse Metcalf in it from the
Oh,
Destiny
Desperate Housewives.
revival and Desperate
Oh, yeah, Desperate
Housewives.
Housewives. Yeah.
And it was really solid, and he's got a first time actor in it that I thought did a really, really good job. So the Comic Shop, guys, be on the lookout for that next year, because I'm going to be promoting the heck out of it.
We got a couple other comments real quick. Justin, if you could bring those up, please. Corey says, let's do it. And then Daniel, I believe, had another comment. Going on about a year of watching Dallas. So I imagine it'll at least be 2 years of steady watching. Yeah, I mean, good God,
Nice.
that's a lot of episodes, man.
And then one more thing, I watched the new Ted Danson show, and it just solidifies my comment that I think Ted Danson is the most successful actor in television. I don't think he's the most successful television actor, like, Bryan Cranston does movies now, so on and so forth, the people that have transitioned. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the guy who's constantly worked on television his entire career. And has he released a show that wasn't a hit? Because he went from Cheers to Becker to The Good Place. He was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's now doing this. I don't think the guy's missed. And every time I see him on TV, I get happy. Like, he was on CSI. He was on CSI for a while, I think, after Becker, between Good Place. But Ted Danson, guys, he's top notch, and this new show on Netflix is fun.
Are you discounting any of his movie roles? Which I can only think of Two Men and a Baby. That's the only thing. Has he done other movies besides?
It's 3 Men and a Baby, and I'm the only person in the world still holding out hope for 3 Men and a Bride. But I'm not talking. I'm just talking about him on television. He was in a movie called Made in America with Will Smith and Whoopi Goldberg. That was pretty funny. He was
I remember that one. Yeah.
Getting Even with Dad with Macaulay Culkin, where he plays jewelry heist guy, jewelry thief, I think. I haven't seen it in forever, but no. As far as Ted Danson on television, I think he's the most successful television star.
Well, I'm going to go with what I'm watching. I'm going to, again, deviate from the norm because, folks, you know what? I unlike Daniel Snow, who is a year into doing his rewatch of Dallas, I am still in, the third month or fourth month of my rewatch of Homicide: Life on the Street. And I'm still in that particular frame of mind where I'm still watching that. So, I'm going to go with what I recently have viewed, and that's another theater production. Over the Thanksgiving weekend, my girlfriend and I went to go see A Christmas Carol, produced by Kappa, which is the performing arts group here in Columbus, Ohio. And they did something really cool that I didn't know about. But oftentimes when they do a play, they will divide the parts up, and half of the parts go to local actors who are in local acting theaters. And then the other half are actual, like, legitimate Broadway actors. Like the guy that played Scrooge, he won like a couple of Tonys, but I've never heard of him. I'm not a theater dude. I'm not in the know of that, but it was really well done. I like A Christmas Carol. It's not my favorite, but it's right up there. It's on the list of what I like to watch on Christmas. So yeah, I watched another live production, if you will, and this one was pretty top notch.
So, question: I do want to talk about the theater stuff too, but what's your favorite incarnation of A Christmas Carol?
Oh, it's tied between Muppets and the George C. Scott version.
Muppets is good. I like the Mickey Mouse one, and I really like Scrooge. I just watched Scrooge for the first time last year with Bill Murray.
Hmm.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty solid too. I like it. Yeah, but I'm still going either Muppets or the George C. Scott. Just
Dude,
George C. Scott's got that gravitas to him that I can't look away from that, and I really enjoy it.
I'll add it to the list, man, because I've never seen that, and I've never seen Miracle on 34th Street, and I plan on watching Miracle, and I'll double feature it with that because yeah, I should check that out. I really should. And as far as theater goes, man, I am also a fan of theater. And I haven't gone as much as I would like to go. Have you ever been to Shadowbox?
I have never been to Shadowbox.
We should plan an evening where we all go to Shadowbox. They
Yeah,
do like
yeah,
sketch comedy shows and stuff. And then I saw Rent there. Rent was really, really good. And they did a really good job with it. And I've seen Beetlejuice on Broadway. And then, like, you guys know how I feel about Wicked.
yeah. No, man. For those again, just filling in the blanks there. Shadowbox is kind of our smaller theater, but they do a lot of avant-garde type of stuff. They do some wacky stuff that you probably wouldn't see at some of the other mainstream theaters around town here. But it's still solid show. I guess we got a few more comments here. Um, I want to say Danza had a small part in Saving Private Ryan too. I really need to watch Homicide because I remember it crossing over with the Law and Order, which I love. And actually, funny you mentioned that, Daniel, that my buddy and I that are watching it together, like we're watching it, and then we'll, every couple of days we'll text each other what we thought of the episodes. He's a couple episodes ahead of me on season. What season are we on? Season 4, season 5. We're on season 4. We're on season 4, and that's when the Law and Orders crossover happens. So yeah, eventually I'll get off of it. I don't know. I'm stuck in a rut, I guess you could say, but a good rut because Homicide's quality stuff.
Dude,
Uh,
speaking of Law and Order, it's coming to Hulu in 7 days.
oh,
For the first time, the original Law and Order is going to be in full to stream because for some reason Peacock has only had like the last 8 years.
oh, okay. Well, again, there's probably
Right,
some of
right.
that, the rights, who owns what and whatnot. Scrooge from Corey. What else did we have? One more. Yep, George C. Scott for me, but Scrooge was surprisingly very good. Yep. All right. Well, shall we go ahead and start talking about this episode of Matlock?
If we have to.
Oh, we have to. The people listen. Corey and Daniel want it, and I'm sure many other people will want it too. So, with that, let's go down into our opening statements. The episode's name is The Nightmare, and it originally aired on November 1st, 1991. And we have a few guest stars that we need to talk about here. The first one is a gentleman, and I hope I do justice to his last name because it's a hard one. Jack Kruschen. He's going to be playing the role of Judge Ogilvy as well as the bus repairman. That's right. He has 2 roles in this episode. We'll explain that a little bit later. You may also know him as Dr. Dreyfus in The Apartment, Salvatore in 1953's War of the Worlds, Mr. Katsopoulos on both Webster and Full House, which makes me want to say, okay, was Webster and like Full House connected?
I don't think they crossed over, no.
It's just weird that he would use the same character in 2 totally separate,
Mhm.
shows. Also, numerous characters on Barney Miller, and then he had a bunch of one-offs on shows such as the A-Team, Grizzly Adams, the Rockford Files, and many, many more. So, any comments there with our friend Jack?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Then we'll move on to our next big guest star. Andrew Prine will be playing the role of Gil Briscoe. You may also know him as Brigadier General Richard B. Garnett in Gettysburg and Gods in General.
Nice. We did that
Both
music
World War-
for our halftime show my freshman year of high school.
What?
The marching band, Gettysburg and Glory and that other movie you just named. We did like the
Gods and
melody of
Generals.
all of them. Yeah.
Oh, really? I've never seen Gettysburg or Gods and Generals. I know Gods and Generals is like 4 hours long. Like it's
I've seen
incredibly.
Glory. Glory is the only one I've seen.
Glory's the only one I've seen too, and it's a fantastic film, absolutely phenomenal. Again, Andre Brower. So I said yes, please. But anyways, he also played Ed Kimmel on 6 Feet Under, Wayne Donnelly on TV's version of Weird Science, Harrison Van Buren on Dallas, 4 various episodes of Murder, She Wrote, and one-offs for the show Star Trek The Next Generation, Freddy's Nightmares, Mission of the Shark, the Saga of the USS Indianapolis, and he was on Married with Children. And so I'm going to ask you, Jason, do you know what character he was in Married with Children?
No, but I'm going to
look. One of the fun characters of that show, Psycho Dad!
I don't think I've made it to Psycho Dad on my rewatch.
Oh man, I remember that. I remember Psycho Dad. That episode was bonkers.
Nice.
Also, too, I want to go ahead.
I was gonna say he was in Amityville too, and if you guys know me, I love me some. Well, listen, after 10, I can't do it anymore. I tried to watch Amityville Karen, that came out a few years ago, and it was just awful. It looked like somebody just had their handy cam, which is fine. Like sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. And so I'm off the bad Amityville sequel train, but he was in Amityville too, and I do like the bad sequels up through like I think 8 or 9.
Well, the one that I thought was interesting was that there was an actual, it was a made-for-TV movie, The Mission of the Shark, the saga of the USS Indianapolis, of course, very made famous in Jaws, you know, when the three of them are the 3 main characters sitting around drinking that one evening on the boat. So, but Andrew Prine got a long list of accomplishments there in his resume.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Matt Battaglia is our next guest star. He plays the role of Rudy Sims. You may also know him as Pete in the Marvel movie Thor. Young Judge Forsythe, on Paradise Lost. Commander Hirschmeyer on True Detective. J.L. King on Days of Our Lives. And he has a lot of one-offs on shows such as SEAL Team, Hawaii Five-0, and one of your favorites, Franklin and Bash.
He was. I've only seen like a few episodes of Franklin and Bash, but he was in the Twin Peaks reboot. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
A couple times. He's been in some stuff. A lot of one-offs. He plays Dan, character named Dan, a lot. He was also in the 2 Universal Soldier sequels without Van Damme as Van Damme's character. So I didn't know that. That's funny. He played Luke Devereaux. I do have those on DVD. The 2, they have Burt Reynolds in them. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? Burt Reynolds is in those movies?
Universal Soldier 2, Brothers in Arms, and Universal Soldier 3, Unfinished Business, which are no longer in continuity because in 99, Van Damme made an official Universal Soldier 2. But yeah, I didn't think they were awful, but I haven't seen them since the 90s. So.
All right. Well, we have a few other comments coming up here. So, Justin, could you please bring those up? Corey says, bring it on. All right. And Daniel back again. Andrew Prine is great in an episode of The Fugitive called Home is the Haunted. Highly recommended. All right. Cool.
Very nice.
Well, our next guest star is a gentleman
named Nancy Stafford. She plays Michelle Thomas in this episode, and it's nice to see her pop up in season 6. Nancy hasn't been on the show since season 4, it seems, and it was nice seeing her pop up in a dual role.
Okay, are you done now with your silliness? No, I'm talking about Ken Swafford, who will be playing the role of Ned Salem. You may also know him as as Weasel in Annie, the Major in Thelma and Louise, Toby in Andromeda and Strain, Lyle Connors on Baywatch, Sheriff Burnside on Dallas, Lieutenant Holman on Dynasty, March Ridley on Falcon Crest, and various characters on Simon & Simon, Murder, She Wrote, and The Wonderful World of Disney. So any comments here for Mr. Ken Swafford?
No, I didn't have a chance to pull it up. I got distracted by Daniel Snow's comment.
All right. Well, let's get those comments up here. Let's see. First of
Bill
all,
Goldberg
wasn't
was.
Gold? Yes.
He was in Van Damme's second Universal Soldier movie called The Return. And I'm going to recommend Van Damme's third Universal Soldier movie because it's actually pretty good. I think it's got a high Rotten Tomatoes score too.
Okay. I hope that in the movie, I haven't seen the sequel. I've never seen any of the Universal Soldiers movies. But I hope Bill Goldberg gave somebody the spear and then the jackhammer suplex. What is that?
That's my Van Damme pop figure. I showed it to you at the show.
Oh yeah. You bought it yesterday.
Well, we also have my reviews again. Van Damme Nation's coming back, folks.
Van Damme Nation. All right. Well, we have one other person to mention real quick. Burt Kramer is going to be in this episode. Burt was Lieutenant Norris in the episode The Power Brokers, which was, of course, season 2, episodes 5 and 6. So just wanted to give Burt his props, returning back to the homestead, if you will, of Matlock. So, All right, Jason, I got a question to ask you. It's a very popular question, but that question is simply this. Are you willing to give an opinion, your opinion, and solely your opinion, so help you?
I don't know if the internet's ready for it, but let's testify!
Let's testify!
Today, Christmas shopping, and they have the Matlock suit for $140.
Wait, what? Where is this at? Kohl's?
Kohl's. I'm about to go back and buy it. I'm just going to wear it everywhere I go. I'm going to get like 3 of them. That's going to be my only outfit for the rest of my life.
Okay. I'm going to have to check out the Kohl's that's right by me.
I'm even going to pull the pants up, too.
Don't forget the black dress shoes and the black belt.
GalaxyCon next year, I'm getting a white wig. I'm cosplaying. They will think I'm either Colonel Sanders or Matlock. It doesn't matter. It'll be fantastic.
You'll get confused by somebody that'll think you're some anime character and not Ben Matlock.
It's fine.
Anyways, oh, Justin got it. Goldberg spearing someone in Universal Soldiers. He's got me the YouTube link. Awesome. All right. Yes. Anyways, let's talk about the plot. The plot of this episode is, well, it's a time travel episode. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard me say that. It's a time travel episode. Ben must defend Conrad, who is accused of murder. All right, our opening scene is a bus driving through the countryside.
Hold on, before you get too far into it, I got excited when I saw the bus and who was on the bus. We had Michelle, we had Conrad, we had Julie. They're all in an episode. I can't remember the last time all 4 of them was in the same episode with each other. And then the episode happened. Anyway, continue, John.
Wait a minute, because I have a very big problem with one of these characters being on this bus. As you said, the whole crew is on the bus trip. Why is Bob Brooks on the bus?
Because he's on vacation with his friends.
But wouldn't this be a conflict of interest? Because Bob Brooks is the one that's always the cop that shows up first and is the investigator. He works kind of with Ben. I think there's a conflict of interest.
I don't think it is, because back in the day, I mean, I don't know how common it is, but like defense lawyers and prosecutors used to go get food all the time with each other and hang out outside of the courtroom.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the same thing, right?
Lunch is one thing. I think going on a trip to a dude ranch, I think that's a little something. That's the next level. That would warrant some investigations, I think.
I don't know, man, because a lot of cops become lawyers. So of course you're gonna have cop friends. I'm pretty sure it's not, as long as they don't discuss the case. Because law firms can it's called a Chinese wall, I think. They can defend both sides of a case.
I don't know. We so need to get an attorney on this show.
We do.
To talk to them. We do. We got to get working on that.
We need somebody on there wrong.
What'd you say?
So we need somebody on here to tell you you're wrong.
Okay.
I'll work on it. Justin, get a law degree.
Yeah, like in a couple of months. Do that, please. All right.
Please.
You can go to the University of America Samoa and get your law degree.
Lawfordummies.com.
I object, is what he just said. Anyways, well, Ben doesn't want to be on this trip. All right, he's grumpy Ben, and the folks are going to this dude ranch. It was a charity event. There was a charity event, I should say, and nobody bid on this prize except for Julie. So Julie wins it. That's why everybody's on this bus. I do appreciate that Ben does not know how to ride horses. He's afraid of horses. So am I. I'm afraid of horses, and so I can empathize. The bus stops at what looks to be an old, rundown Western town, and everybody gets off the bus, and everybody's stretching their legs. And who's the football dude with Michelle Thomas? Because he was quite handsome there. I mean, I believe he is the gentleman Matt Battaglia, the actor. But was he kind of with Michelle? Did you get those vibes, or was that just me?
I think that was just you.
Yeah, okay. I just want Michelle to find a good man and to settle down and to still shoot for all of her goals and be a great attorney and have a great relationship, et cetera, et cetera. So the bus is overheated because it's all out of oil. The driver cannot really fix it, so they're stranded for a while at this crappy town. And I like that there's 3 options of things you could do to pass the time. You could play cards, you could go explore, or you could drink beer.
Or all 3.
Or all 3. I read down they have beer on the bus. Like, I would, again, this bus, man, it's something already, possible conspiracies being created between defense attorneys and the cops, people playing cards and gambling and then drinking, and I don't know. All right, so Conrad finds the tavern to this old town, and as everybody files in, Ben's one of the last ones, and the sign falls off the bracket and bonks Ben right on the head. And my oh my, that stuntman, he made it look really good, I gotta say. I mean, what are you laughing for? You didn't think he made it look good?
No, I mean, no, it looked fine. It looked fine.
Yeah, okay. All right. Andy Griffith ain't doing his own stunts. Come on now. He's got bad knees or bad ankles or bad feet. One of those.
Yesterday, I have bad legs.
Yeah, well, we did a lot of walking, did we not? So Ben comes to, and all of a sudden, it's the Wild West. It's the 1850s, yo. And the town is bustling with activity. And so Ben is blocking the door to the tavern, but eventually he moves out of the way so the guy can go in. Ben goes in as well. And he notices that Bob Brooks is there, but Bob Brooks, he's the town drunkard. He's also introduced to Ned and Gil. And let's talk about, this one. Michelle Thomas. Holy cow.
Was there like fan fiction out there that wanted to see Ben and Nancy or Ben and Michelle flirt with each other?
I don't know.
Somebody wanted to see it because that's this episode.
Well, it's happened twice. Because remember the bet that Conrad was like, "Oh, you could shake your,
but that wasn't this. This is she's trying to seduce Ben.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So the sheriff comes and wants to talk to Michelle, and that's when Conrad enters and he says, "Listen, you killed my uncle. I want revenge, and I'm going to get it later today. So I'm giving you a warning, Sheriff. I'm coming for you." All right. So we cut to a scene where Ben shows up at Julie's bordering house. Right.
I've never understood the warning for revenge. Why don't you just get your revenge? Why? I mean, you're telling the guy that you're going to do it. Like, you want the guy to leave? Because the only thing that tells me is you don't really want to hurt the guy.
Well, it's like, why do villains in movies and TV shows tell us everything about their evil plan right before it gets foiled?
So we know it.
Touche, sir. Touche. Well, Ben meets Julie. All right. And Julie rents him a room. And she just couldn't believe how much money Ben has. He had to be part of the railroad or whatnot. And because the room cost $1 a day. All right. And then I wrote this down. Did I see this wrong, or did she put the money in her bra?
She did. The coin.
I yeah, it's not dollar bills. That's why I'm like, I don't know how that would work, and I'm just gonna leave that go. I'm just gonna leave that be. I don't know how that would work if it's coins.
They were made with
Dollar
titanium
bills
back then.
made of titanium.
They were built to
Anyways,
last.
no, I'm sure. So as I mentioned before, Ben's cash is a little bit of a controversial topic, and then we cut to a scene where we have what is absolutely one of the most fantastic parts, but yet we knew it was coming. It was telegraphed. It's time for a little outhouse humor. Jason, would you ever use an outhouse?
I mean, it's essentially a porta potty, which I hate using porta potties because I was in one, and in your high school, your friends are dumb, and I was in there trying to do my business, and my buddies were tipping it over. So luckily, I got out before it fell. But yeah, I was in midstream tipping over in a porta potty before. So yes, I've used a porta potty. I will never use it again. It's kind of like an outhouse. Only outhouses can't be tipped over.
That's true. That's true. You're right. That looked like that was a heavy structure. But yeah, look, I don't have a problem with porta potties. I mean, I think I have been blessed or lucky enough that I've never had to go number two in a porta potty. I mean, it's always been like, hey, I gotta take a whiz, I gotta pee, so that has been so that's been my experience. So I don't know, but you know what? I like those porta potties. Have you ever seen those ones? I mean, they used to have them at the concert venue here in Columbus, where they kind of were like a trailer that they put down, and it had flowing water and that. I like those. Those are the porta potties I like.
I'll use those if I have to, and I will use if the porta potties are like stacked with many next to each other. I will use those too. But if there's a single one out there, I'm not going anywhere near it.
Well, no, I don't blame you on that one. So I think we have another comment here, Justin. If we could have you bring it up, please.
See, Daniel, Ben was happy about it only being $1
Yeah,
because he's trying to
I
pay her
mean,
too much. He's trying to buy the place.
anyways, so while Ben is deciding whether he's going to go to the bathroom or not in the outhouse, he overhears threats to the sheriff from some outlaws. All right. And so Conrad shows up at the tavern, and hey, the sheriff ain't here, man. He ain't here. So he ends up going over to the jail, and he challenges the sheriff. He's like, listen, get your gun, because I ain't shooting an unarmed man. Get a gun. Get your gun. And the sheriff's like, man, do you really want to do this? You don't want to do this. Come on, man. Listen, you didn't even like your uncle anyways. And that's beside the point. It's all family. That's, what, Conrad is all about. Him and Dominic Turturro. It's all about family. Anyways, so basically when Conrad goes to get the gun, because the sheriff's like, the gun's in my drawer. Why don't you go ahead and grab it? Go ahead and grab it for me. When he grabs it, he KOs him and knocks him stupid. And then the sheriff turns around and he says, hey, what are you doing? And then kapow! The sheriff is shot and he falls. Conrad is right next to him.
And since it takes place in the 1850s, as we've learned, no blood. Continue, John.
No blood. That's right. And then what do you know? We see a scene where there's absolute chaos at the jail. People have found out that the sheriff was shot. Conrad's sitting there next to him, laying there next to him. And Conrad's like, look, I didn't do anything. And lo and behold, Ben comes to the rescue, and he gets everybody to, file out and whatnot. And Conrad and Ben discuss what happened. The gun was in my hand, but I didn't get the gun. I got KO'd. By the way, no one likes lawyers in the 1850s. That's what we're going to learn throughout this show, because that's first brought up about, from Conrad.
Yeah, they hate
Conrad.
lawyers.
Yes, Conrad and his uncle Willis didn't have a very good relationship. Ben reads the riot act to Conrad about the whole man's got to do what a man's got to do. He thinks it's a stupid idea. And he mentions something in there about, everybody thinks you're like John Wayne, that you can solve your problem. Conrad didn't go, who's John Wayne? What's up
There's
with
a lot.
that?
There's a lot of what, John. It's it's up here. It's in Ben's mind. So you've been in dreams, right? Where you just you wake up the
Yeah.
next morning, all this outrageous stuff happens. You're like, huh, yeah, that's kind of what this is.
Well, I like how Ben also talks to the deputy about running a very strict investigation and asks if he's going to run the gun for ballistics, run it through ballistics, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Never mind. You're going to run a very good investigation." We find out that the sheriff was not wearing his gun, which is something odd. And so Ben's like, I want to go talk to this Ned Salem guy because he sounds like he's trouble. So then we get a scene where Ben has some fantastic horse comedy. That's right, where he can't get on the horse and whatnot, and then he can't get it going, and then it's too fast, and ha 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 ha. So Ben arrives at Ned's land or Ned's place, and Ned claims that he's not a cattle wrestler. All right, that there's the envy of all these other ranchers are just running their mouths. He's not a rustler. All right. And he says, if you want to know somebody that might very well kill the sheriff, look at Gil Briscoe. Because he could be one of the ones that did it, And so Ben then heads back to town. And he shows up at the tavern and he's sore. He's sore, in that crotch area because he's been riding all day.
Places he's never seen before.
Yeah, that's right. He's sworn places he's never seen before. He'll tell that to Miss Michelle Thomas in a little bit here. So Gil dupes Ben into playing a card game, and they chat, about the whole situation. But really, at the end, Ben doesn't get any type of real evidence or anything. So then we got to a scene where Ben wants to chat with Michelle Thomas. Cowabunga, man. She looks smoking. I'm just like, wow, absolutely amazing. And then we get a little bit of awkward Ben Matlock, because he's a small, a high school kid. What were you going to say, Jay?
Oh, no, I was yelling at my dog.
Oh. All right. So Ben and Michelle, they talk about the sheriff. I wrote down that Michelle's upset that she couldn't woo Ben into a little funny business, if you will. But then we see Michelle chatting with this cowboy, and then one of the goons from the sheriff interrupts. And guess what we have to have? We have to have it. It's almost as important as outhouse humor. We have to have a brawl in the saloon, didn't we?
All the time, man. 1850s, wild times.
Indeed, very much so. Ben checks on Bob, and then we got to a scene where Julie is leading an angry mob. The deputy stands between Conrad and the mob. Ben tries to calm down the mob, but then he suggests, why don't we have a trial? All right. And so Julie tells him that while he's staying at her place, all he's getting is beans. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. Now, here's one thing I didn't understand. What's the relationship between the sheriff and Julie? Like, I didn't understand. Did they ever really say?
No, I don't think so. Not that I recall. Look at you drinking Prime, man. You're like one of them
drink
Gen
Prime all the
Zers.
time.
Yeah, you're like one of those Gen Zers. Good on you. You're being hit.
I got the tropical punch tonight, so
I still drink Red
like
Bull
it.
like an old man.
Well, I mean, this is the hydration. This is not the energy drink.
Oh, okay.
So this is the hydration one. This is, as somebody asked me, what is Prime? I was like, it's just fancy Gatorade. That's all it is. So, I mean, it's true. That's all it is. It's fancy Gatorade. All right. Well, let's get back to the show. The deputy and Ben chat about Rudy Sims. Now, Rudy Sims, one of the things I didn't mention about him when we ran him down or discussed him in the guest stars, he's actually a former NFL football player. Matt Battaglia played football for the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 or 4 seasons. So the fact that he's kind of a buff dude, he's kind of in shape, isn't very surprising. But when Ben goes to talk to Rudy, Rudy is tells him, hey, I keep an eye on these cows. It's my job. I keep eyes on the cattle and whatnot, and I can tell you, that there was some of the Ned Salem's blended in with this other group, and he basically just tells his side of the story. But one thing though that Rudy does have that is curious is a golden candlestick. Now, as you know, Jason, and I know, we knew that was a clue, but did you really know what it was going to be about? Because I thought maybe it was going to come into play in another murder, maybe where somebody gets hit with it. What did you think?
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I knew it's something, but I didn't have any theories.
Okay. Well, we have some more horse comedy from Ben, and then Ben ends up back at Michelle's place, and Ben sees a missing candlestick, and he leaves once again to leave Michelle with the idea that she can't woo him at all.
Nope, can't woo him. It's awkward.
Ben drinks the whiskey. He gets a drink of whiskey at the bar while he's talking to Bob. Bob, he tastes it for Ben, and they say it tastes like something like turpentine or something. Anyways, so, but the important part is that Bob tells Ben that a few nights ago, when it was raining, old Rudy gave him some money so he could sleep in a house, like he could sleep in a hotel, which he goes, that's really nice, So the alibi then, that messes up the alibi that, earlier Rudy had said. He said that it was raining so badly that he wasn't out there, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, we get a scene where Michelle gives Ben a ride in her carriage, and boy, that does not sit well with Julie, does it? It does.
Julie's
not.
jealous.
She
fake
is jealous.
Julie is jealous of fake Michelle.
That's right. We got to a courtroom, and I'll use that term loosely because it's really right there in the tavern. A deputy is on the stand, and wow, what a jury! As the judge is like, you look at who you're talking to here, because Ben has objected several times. And
are you going to tell the jury to disregard it? Half of them are asleep, and the other half have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. The judge gives Ben the third degree, like on two separate occasions, by the way. So Ben calls once again the outstanding Michelle Thomas to the stand. Basically, what Ben has discovered is that Michelle, while doing her deeds, if you will, collects info on the cowboys. And so basically she relays that info. So then she sets up a date with that cowboy to lure him away from the cattle. And then Walla Walla, Washington, the cattle is stolen. So Rudy tells the sheriff about Michelle and Ned, that they're in cahoots, and that according to what we think, theory-wise, Michelle shot the sheriff, but she did not shoot the Jeopardy. Oh, damn it, I screwed up that joke. She did not shoot the deputy.
Yeah. Speaking of, guys, watch Pop Culture Jeopardy on Amazon. It's fun.
Okay. Yeah, that was very random. So Rudy confronted Michelle, and she said, listen, you figured it all out great. Shut up, and I'll give you the solid gold candlestick. So there you go. And so the judge is yelling at Ben because Ben is outraged, and he's pushing for some other evidence to be brought in. And then all of a sudden, a gunshot is heard. And so everybody runs outside. And the gunshot is Bob shooting Conrad's gun, because nobody ever said that they heard the shot from the murder, right? Yeah, we never heard anything. It's a loud gun, it's probably a high caliber gun. We would have heard that if you shot somebody. Well, not if you use the carriage cushion to use as a silencer, which is exactly what Ben thinks happens, is that Michelle takes the cushion, puts it in front of the gun, shoots the sheriff, then takes one bullet out of Conrad's gun to frame him. All right. And so things are getting hot now in the courtroom. And so people are mumbling and mumbling. Michelle pulls a gun, a hidden gun, and then holds Ben hostage.
Mm-hmm.
The deputy will not move. He's, I'm not letting you out of here. I'll kill him. I swear to God, I will. Not letting you leave. I'm going to kill him. I swear. But then, ladies and gentlemen, as a gunshot is heard, we jump cut to modern times where the crew is watching over Ben and he's been KO'd and everybody's out. Are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like, he's confused because he's still thinking it's the 1850s. And he's okay, but he's very, very confused. And he gets to his feet, and Ben and Julie, they go over to the bus, and they are talking to the mechanic who's under the bus, want to know how long it's going to take. And the mechanic unrolls on the creeper from underneath the bus and says, it's going to be a while. And it's the judge, Judge Ogilvy.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so that concludes our rundown of the nightmare. Jason, do you have anything you want to mention real quick before we jump to our last segment here?
No, I think we've covered it all.
Okay, we have a comment here from Liz. Liz says, just tuning in, I'll go back and watch, but David Froman looks like the only one having fun in this episode. Well, yes, he is.
We'll get to probably. It, Liz.
We'll get to it. I don't know. There's plenty of, it looks like there's plenty of cowboys having some fun, with Michelle Thomas, offering up some fun. Anyways, let's get on into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get out of this. Let's go right into our closing statements.
This is the part of the podcast where John and I will rate the show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means that we did not really like it. 5 gavels means we loved it. -30 gavels means I've given up and I'm going back to the 1850s to live on a ranch for John. So I'm going to go first. I did not love this episode. It felt like a chore to get through. You're shocked?
No!
You're shocked.
Get it. Okay. All right. Sorry. Go on.
No, I did not like it. It felt like fan fiction. Like everything I like about the show is the interactions between Ben and Michelle and Conrad and, this whole not knowing each other thing. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. And the Michelle and Ben scenes were awkward, very, very awkward. And I don't know. It not for me. And, I did find out this is actually the episode that inspired Walker, Texas Ranger. Unfortunately, Andy Griffith couldn't do that show, so they had to settle on Chuck Norris. But this is what spun into that. That's made up. That was more entertaining this entire episode. Go ahead, John. I give it 2 gavels.
Oh my God! I can't believe this. We've been on the same wavelength for the last.
I even texted you. I spoiled my reaction. That's why I'm surprised that you liked it so much.
Okay. Well, Daniel's got a comment. That is the comment of the night. Can we bring that up, Justin?
It's just because it's a better idea doesn't mean it's a good idea, Daniel.
This is tongue in cheek about Dallas. All right.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Okay. All right.
The whole season is bad. A good episode's not great.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I remember watching this episode once before on MeTV, and I did not like it. So I went into it going, this is gonna suck. But this is much better than I remember. I thought it was
in a row. Hoping that it was just my mood from being tired yesterday when I watched it last night. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Well, no. But I thought it was better than I remember. I thought the acting was really good. I enjoyed the interaction between Michelle Thomas and Ben. I mean, I took it that he was going to be awkward because A, the mere beauty of Michelle, and B, the fact that she is the prostitute of the town, and C, just their interaction would have to be awkward. It just would have to be because, it's Ben. I just felt like the only real big gripe that I had was the confusing, the confusion around Julie and her connection to the sheriff. And so I gave it 5 gavels. I thought it was a fun episode, much better than I anticipated it being. So
change your mind down to 1 gavel, so we bring the show average down to 3.
Stop it. You behave. Jeez-oy.
What do you think of this episode, Liz? Because she made the comment that, the guy looks like he's the only one having fun in the episode, so I wonder if she liked it too.
Well, while she does that and respond, oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. We've seen that Michelle Ben scene twice already, which we mentioned. We talked about that. I'll give you an extra gavel for the suit. I'm here for the Old West suit. It fits him better than and looks genuinely sharp. Who knew all he needed was a vest to bring it together? That, you
Whoa,
know?
Liz, you know I like you. You're one of my favorite people, but the suit is amazing without the vest. The vest just adds to the awesomeness that is the suit that I almost bought today for $140 at Kohl's.
What are you arguing with her about? You just said the same thing she said.
She said it looks the vest to bring it together. I'm saying it's already together. The vest just adds to it.
Oh, okay. Semantics. All right. Anyways. All right, let's get
I just can't afford a vest, John. So I just want to know the suit I'm about to buy myself is going to look good on its own.
I'm checking out this suit too. Where was it at? In the menswear, obviously, but I mean, like,
no, it was in children's, John. I'm telling you to go buy a children's suit at Kohl's, gray.
I can't fit my 200-pound rear end in that. I mean,
dude, are you caught up on Matlock, Kathy Bates Matlock?
No, I'm not caught up yet.
She has a nightmare where she's in Ben's suit, and it's fantastic.
No! Oh, don't ruin it for me. I can't wait. Okay. Anyways, all right, tell us what's going on with Three Geeks Podcast.
Now that's a nightmare that was worth watching. Everybody, guys, check us out, Three Geeks Podcast. Our panel from yesterday went up today, so you guys can go check it out. Lots of fun fan interaction. And one of my favorite moments going to these cons every year in Columbus is we always see this guy who's been at our show. I kind of don't know his name. He's been at our shows every year since our very first panel 10 years ago, and see him again. Like, this guy is a hardcore fan of ours, and one year they messed up the time in the program, and as we were leaving the panel room, we could hear him yelling at the management for that con about them messing up our time because he's mad he missed our panel. And yeah, it was cool to see him again, 10 years in. Good dude. And then guys, Justin and I have interviews that are coming out very, very soon, and this Saturday will be our last live show of the year.
Okay, there you go. Well, I will back up what Jason said. I was stunned yesterday when I sat down. I was looking at the crowd, and that gentleman, I don't know his name. He was sitting there, and I called him out. I go, "Wait a minute, sir, weren't you here the last time we were here doing a panel?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then, Max and you and Justin were all like, "He's always here." And I'm like, "Holy cow, man." But enough about that. The PVD Cast is my own personal podcasting project. It's available at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts. Right now, it's wrestling time, if you will. Survivor Series was just a couple of weeks ago, and the pro wrestling pundits DJ Joey Blaze and Ringside Rand sit down with me to talk about everything that went on in British Columbia at that event. And so if you want to get our opinions on what we thought of it, we rate things on a body slam system over there, by the way, not a gavel system. So, but anywho,
I think the next episode of Matlock is a Christmas episode because it started and I heard Christmas music. I could be wrong, but it sounded like Jingle Bells.
All right. Well, that would be great. That would be great because we are, of course, the 22nd? Yeah. The 22nd we'll do an episode. That will be our last one for the year as well, because we can't do one on the 29th because I won't be here.
I'm going to try to reach out to the Julie actress, and if I get her, I'm going to invite Liz on to interview her with us. Liz and Daniel, guys, thank you so much.
And Corey, don't forget about Corey.
I'm getting there. And Corey, thank you guys so much. I want all three of you guys to reach out because I want to get you all back on the show again. I was re-listening to our episode with Liz the other day, and good stuff. That's a good podcast.
All right.
There, that Mattalk.
That is a good podcast. Anyways, all right, with that, then, ladies and gentlemen, as they say in court,
nothing further. I don't have the music cued. Hold on. I'm failing at my job, guys.